what if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands? That's an interesting question. In the process of losing his heart, he also loses his mind summarily. I didn't know what to expect going into this. I was honestly curious because how are the events going to unfold differently for this versus how they unfolded in the film? And the fact is, they unfolded significantly differently. Since he crashed a car in the movie, which caused him to lose his hands and everything else, that was that was the rough part, and so he had to overcome that struggle, not being able to be a surgeon anymore and everything else. Well, with him losing his heart, the difference is in this crash, he had his girl with him. And when he lost her due to the crash. The crash happened. The crash was meant to happen. It was what the Ancient One in this episode signified as a permanent fixed event, that it just happens. It has to happen in order for other things to happen. Well, in this timeline, his girl was meant to die. It was meant to die. That was how he would seek out the Ancient One to become the Sorcerer Supreme that he is and the Guardian of the Eye of Agamotto. Well, as typically goes with grief-stricken people, he was grief-stricken to the point where he knew he could go back with the Eye of Agamotto and change it. Well, he does just that. And it was almost like a reverse Dormammu thing. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. And when he allowed Dormammu to kill him over and over and over again, basically just wearing himself out, when he allowed that to happen, it was for the purpose of him learning. Well, each time he tried something new, he tried something different. It's like, okay, well, if we're going to this conference, let me shift a little bit. Let me change my dialogue. Maybe it's something as simple as dialogue that changes the narrative. Or maybe we take a different route. Or maybe we stay home. Or maybe we go to a different place instead of going to the award ceremony. Every one of those events he tried and failed because she died every time. So it was kind of one of those things where after so many times of him doing this and reversing time and trying to understand why, finally the Ancient One shows up and says, no, you can't do this. This is a fixed point. It's got to happen. It's a guaranteed thing. It will happen. It's what causes you to become who you are. Well, okay, there you go. So most people would take that and be like, okay, fine, I lose. Moving on. Strange. He is not most people. He took that and said, no, I'm going to go find the most powerful knowledge I can find. And he does that. He basically goes back in time to ancient times, goes through all these ancient texts to find how he can become powerful enough to split this inevitable point in time to where he can break it to where it doesn't have to happen. Well, unbeknownst to him, at that same time, the Ancient One splits time with him. So there's two Doctor Stranges existing in the same timeline. One who had went back to the past and the one who was currently living with the guilt of everything that went on. And yeah, you could clearly see it. The one who, the half that couldn't let go, he went there. He went all kinds of crazy. Started bringing mystical beings into his realm and absorbing all their energy to become more powerful because he realized that was what he needed, was more power. And finally, the present day Strange, he sees things are happening, and finally the Ancient One, a remnant of the Ancient One, comes to him and explains what's going on and why it's happening. Well, I gotta get better with names. He and Wong, they fashion spells that protect Strange, and as soon as they're through fashioning all the spells in the Sanctum Sanctorum, Strange is then sucked through a portal down to where his alternate personality, I should say, is. And I will go ahead and tell you that the fight that ensues, I was like, okay, maybe he can rationalize, bring some rationality with this deal. Nope, not at all. Not going to happen. So he was unable to rationalize with his counterpart, and they fight. And the fight is fairly epic. I mean, Steven is completely overpowered. I mean, he is well and truly outdone. And he leaves the Eye of Agamotto in the Sanctum Sanctorum. Go figure. So there's not the possibility of utilizing that. Plus, the other Strange has the eye. So there you go. So, yeah, the fight sequence was very thought out, very well thought out, very well done, very well placed. And I gotta admit, it's something to where I wouldn't want to see a full movie of it, but the fact that they did it in the 30 minutes or so that they did, perfect. It was a clear, clean, concise way of doing it. I gotta say, I was a fan of the way it went down. The way it ended, it was heartbreaking, because even the OP, the all-powerful Doctor Strange, who had learned how to become all-powerful, had absorbed his alternate self, and became even that much more powerful, even then, the girl still died. She just disintegrated away. And the universe, and his universe was destroyed as a result of it, because he couldn't let go. And so it was heartbreaking. I mean, it was the most heartbreaking episode of What If I've seen thus far. It was so sad, but it was so well done, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. Tilda Swinton was she voiced the Ancient One in this. I mean, it's great that they're getting the actors who portrayed the characters to come in and voice the characters in the show. I'm loving that, because it brings a real tie-up continuity to it, where it doesn't feel, because it's a cartoon, it doesn't feel like that dumpster fire of an Avengers game that came out last year. You know how we were excited for that. Well, after seeing some gameplay footage and then seeing the characters, it was like, nah, it's no bueno, amigo. So yeah, the fact that they're doing it this way, the fact that the characters are being drawn in the likeness of the actors who portrayed them on the big screen, perfect. I'm loving What If. This is great. It's a fun ride. It really is. I know it's only episode 4. I don't know how far they're going to go. I don't know how many episodes we're going to get out of it. I guess we're going to see. But stay tuned, because we got more coming, apparently. Episode 5's next week. We'll do the reaction on that one. And we'll go from there. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.